G'day there folks, Connor here again, and we're back with some more stories from Reddit. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Anyway, let's get straight into the stories. Okie dokie, we're starting on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, I was caught using AI to write wedding vows, and my partner walked out. What to do? I, 35 male, recently had a wedding with my partner, 34 female. We've had a stable and happy relationship so far, and I love her more than anything in the world. The problem arose when it came to writing vows. Don't get me wrong, I love many things about my partner, but I couldn't figure out how to put them into tangible vows. I decided to use ChatGPT so I can have something well written and expressive to share at the ceremony. The thing about my partner is that she's very confrontational and no nonsense. If something annoys her, she immediately addresses it with no room for backing out. I also know that she's expressed a disdain for AI in the past, but I didn't realize how far the hatred could go. I don't know how, but she immediately recognized that the vows were AI. After I'd finished, she had this angry look and whispered to me, "Did you use frickin' AI to write that?" I was quiet because I couldn't believe she'd noticed that, and she was choosing to address it while we were on full display for everyone. She then said that I either speak from the heart or she walks out. I literally couldn't get any words out, and she kept her promise and walked back down the aisle, much to all of our friends and family's confusion. She's been ghosting me these past few days, which is atypical for her and honestly giving me panic attacks. Most people agree that calling off a marriage because of AI vows was an overreaction, and that maybe it was a sign that our relationship would have issues, but a few female friends have said that they would have done the same. I'm hurt and honestly just needed it to help make the day more special. Is it worth fixing? What? That's not just disrespectful, it's just downright lazy. Come on bro, it's your wedding. Using AI to write your vows? Are you serious? I would walk out if I was her as well. Opie edits 10 hours later. Okay, I screwed up. I didn't check this post for a while because I wanted more points of view instead of just getting torn to shreds, but I understand why the situation is worse than I thought it was. I've been trying to contact my partner's family to see if I can talk to her again, but apparently she's been staying out of state with her sister. I'm going to tell her when she gets back what I heard here and that I understand. I'm also going to write new vows without AI and bring her favourite flowers and snacks. I still want her to know that I love her and know her. I'll post an update when I can. Thank you all, even if some feedback could have been a tad more nicely put. Let's see some of those comments. Did you write this with AI too, bud? Come on man, you should have been talking from the heart. He replies, no, I could write this just fine. For the vows it was different because I wanted them to be perfect and there was just a lot I wanted to say that I ended up not being able to say anything. I don't know why so many men, and sometimes women too, but it's usually men, have this belief in the back of their heads that they have this overruling right with their female partner, where they can just ignore or dismiss whatever she wants or prefers as long as he thinks he's got a better idea. Like she's a child and he's the parent who knows better. And now we have you. Quote, she told me explicitly multiple times that she hates AI, but I felt like it wasn't a big deal and that I needed it, so I used it anyway for my wedding vows. How can I show her she's overreacting? You don't, because she's not overreacting. You disrespected her majorly. You're not the victim here. You knew damn well what her reaction to you using AI would be, and did it anyway because again, you thought you knew better and that she wouldn't find out anyway. Again, like she's a stupid child and you're her parent replacing her dead goldfish before she gets home from school. She deserves better than to marry a man who thinks of her that way. Opie replies, I didn't realize she'd be able to tell right away. When I spoke of her disdain for AI, people are making it seem like it was a deal breaker that I simply ignored, which isn't the case. I didn't understand that it meant that much to her, and I definitely won't be making the same careless mistake again. The thing is, this is a slippery slope. Once you get AI to do something as important as writing your wedding vows, you'll even more easily be getting AI to reply to your text messages and creating apology messages when you get into arguments, which you didn't even write. At which point she might as well be in a relationship with ChatGPT instead of you. He says, this is my first time using it to write text, and this whole situation scared me off it for good. If I can fix things, hopefully I won't fall into a slippery slope. Didn't you have an efficient? Ours offered to help us both individually with vows if we wanted. i.e. even just bullet points of what we wanted to say and they would help with wordsmithing. AI isn't even well written or genuine. This was a major, expensive, public and preventable incident you caused, and you're not looking for ways to own it and fix it, but for reasons why she's overreacting. OP replies, I actually thought getting help from the officiant would be less authentic. I guess I took an even worse route without realizing. I'm skeptical most people told you that this is an overreaction. Let's see the vows. Someone adds, in vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. In declaring myself thus, I'm fully aware that I will be going expressly against the wishes of my family, my friends, and, I hardly need add, my own better judgment. Quote, I, user, have strong feelings for you, object of affection, such as love, admiration, and other feelings that express how I feel about you. Have I mentioned that the Pro subscription is an offer right now, and ChatGPT 5 is better in most ways? Just remember to delete the last part. Very clever. Okay, now for an update. Over 2 months later. I honestly wasn't planning to do an update after all because of how humiliating this entire situation has been. I didn't want to give more of a reason for people to rip me apart. But now that my story is posted on a popular YouTube channel, there probably won't be much of an escape route for me. There's no doubt people we know will find it now, so I wanted to give the short update everyone's been itching to get. I did what I said previously and told her about the Reddit post and how the replies gave me her perspective, and that I was sorry. She ended up getting even more angry with me about posting our business, even though our names weren't mentioned, and that she couldn't believe I needed online strangers to tell me why I was wrong. Also, apparently my mum was texting her about paying back all the wasted wedding money, and she used that against me too, which I don't think is fair. I have no control over what my family does. Snacks and flowers didn't do much. She refuses to give me another chance even after offering to go to couples counselling. So yeah, the wedding is never happening again. It's over. This has been the more horrendous time in my life. I've thought about giving up altogether. Meanwhile, she's posting about brunch with her friends on her social media. Makes me wonder how she could move on that fast while I'm a wreck. People have accused me of not caring about her enough to write my own vows. Yet the difference in our reactions to splitting up says the reverse. I hope you're all happy. Feel free to rub salt in the wound. I'm not coming back to this account. And some final comments. The difference in your reactions just says that this was the final straw for her, while you were and still are frickin' clueless. He really doesn't get it, lol. He decided that it wasn't worth his time or effort to write his own vows on his wedding day, so offloaded the subpar task to an AI assistant, and is now mad that his fiancée thinks he's a moron, lol. He can say that he wanted them to be perfect all he wants, but the reality is that he couldn't be bothered to make them perfect on his own, yet he wrote both the post and the update just fine. Coming here straight from the video is insane. By the way, OP, this line absolutely took me out. Snacks and flowers didn't do much. Did you actually think it would? You're legitimately telling us that you, at 35 years old, actually thought you could solve the fact that she publicly left you at the altar in the middle of the ceremony by bringing her snacks and flowers? Honestly, that tells me everything I need to know. I bet you didn't even bring her preferred snacks and brought your own favourites. I had more to say, but it's clear you don't have the reading comprehension required for it to matter, so why bother? I can see why you needed AI's help. One comment says, asked AI what snacks and flowers women prefer most. Dude, paying back all the wasted wedding money and I have no control over what my family does gives me all the information to say this. She dodged a bullet. This made me think that the ex-fiancé was also dealing with nasty in-laws and a fiancé not willing to stand up for her. I literally wrote the same thing, about her dodging the bullet because of this, on another site where this was posted. I just keep thinking about how a real, unpolished, authentic bullet point list of things you love about your partner would likely make for charming wedding vows. Also thinking about how an actual coupley thing to do would be to work together as a team to calibrate your vows so you're matching each other in length, tone, balance of serious and humour, etc. I have got to know what those vows sounded like for her to leave him at the altar. Quote, "It's not just a marriage, it's a commitment and an obligation. It's not just a union, it's a romance and an adventure. While navigating the complexities of our love, which to me is a true treasure chest, it's important to note that, etc., etc." Yeah, it must have been pretty damning for her to realise on the spot that he used AI to write it. Oh god, some people are just a bit dense, aren't they? Anyway guys, what are your thoughts about this story? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, leaving that there and moving on to the next. Okay, well, over on relationships, this one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "My fiancé of 3.5 years snapped yesterday and attacked our dog. Rethinking the wedding." Before I begin, I know the title makes him out to be a monster, but he's honestly not. I've never ever seen this side to him in all the time I've known him. Together 2 years, engaged 1.5 years. He's always been such a calm, level-headed person. I know what he did was wrong, but I'm just wondering if there's any chance of a recovery from this, or if it's well and truly over. We got a dog, Fluff, an old English bulldog in April last year, and I love her. I thought my fiancé did too. My fiancé, Harry, got promoted last month and he's been very stressed. He's been working 8 AM to 7 PM and he's exhausted most nights. I picked up on this and started to clean everything and make food for when he'd be home, even though I just worked at 9 AM to 5 PM myself. I understand he's tired and stressed, but now this treatment has become expected. I literally wake up at 9, go to work, walk 3 miles back home, get home for 5:35 PM, walk the dog, clean the house, and make dinner. If the house isn't immaculate, he'll get all huffy and ignore me and Fluff. Sort of, it's weird. When he got home, after waiting for him to eat, I tried to reason with him, saying I didn't always have time to clean and cook every day. I get tired too. My fiancé immediately got on the defensive, said a lot of hurtful things. I'm too lazy to clean, too stupid to work a better job, etc. I told him I'd had enough of his bad attitude and I'd like some time alone. He literally screamed "fine" and stormed off out of the living room. It's at this point I heard a yelp and then my fiancé shouting, "Piece of crap mutt," and immediately ran into the source, only to find Fluff cowering in the corner with her mouth bleeding, and my fiancé's got a massive bleeding gash on his leg. He first tried to make out that Fluff just attacked him, but I knew she'd never just attack someone like that. After some prodding, he admitted to kicking the dog in anger, and she then proceeded to bite him. I lost my cool at this point, and I'm not proud of it, but I called him an a-hole and continued to berate him for hurting Fluff and asking what the hell he expected to come from kicking her. He was already ticked and started screaming at me too. Eventually, he left to go to A&E. Later in the night, I got a text asking, saying that if I wanted him to come back, the dog had to go. I told him there was no way I was getting rid of Fluff and that he was in the wrong. He then sent me an all-caps text telling me how I'd be nothing without him, and if I was really going to throw all of us away over a mutt, then he's better off without me. I didn't even respond to that. I woke up this morning to have had my phone flooded with texts and missed calls, apologising and promising this, that and the other. At this point, I don't even know what I want. I've cleaned up Fluffer's mouth as much as I could. She wouldn't even let me near her for a couple of hours, and I'm taking her to the vet today to see if there's any further damage. I'm just so disappointed and shocked at his behaviour. I don't know if I can get over this. Nah, red flags galore, man. And 2 years isn't that long of a time to be together. I feel like this sort of behaviour can be hidden for that long, no problems, by people like this. Let's go to the comments. Together 2 years, engaged 1.5 years. What would you do if this happened after a month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year? The fact is, 2 years is about the right amount of time for someone to start showing you their true colours. If an a-hole shows their a-hole colours too soon, there'll always be a single a-hole. Quote, "My fiancé immediately got on the defensive and said a lot of hurtful things. He's showing you who he really is. Believe him." Opie replies, "Thank you, I'll be messaging him later for a talk. I'm planning on breaking up with him. I'm planning on doing it in a restaurant or in a public setting because frankly, I don't know what this man is capable of anymore. Is there any other steps I should be taking?" And an update in the comments. Thank you to everyone who took the time to read this post and advice. Taking it all into account, I'm going to the restaurant now. I've called up the manager ahead of time and told her to be wary of any raised voices or aggressive behaviour. She's told me she'll ask the waiters and waitresses to keep an eye out. Also, luckily Fluff was physically fine. I told the vet about how it happened and she suggested I keep my fiancé away from Fluff. I told her I planned to. Okay, now an update the next day. I'm posting an update for anyone who cared to know what happened at the restaurant. My last post got locked, no idea why, so I'm updating here. I arrived at the restaurant with him and he tried to hug me outside. I told him I needed to talk to him inside and he kept asking me what about, and I kept telling him I'd prefer to get inside and sit down to talk to him. We got inside and sat down. He wouldn't stop apologizing. It'll never happen again, being stressed, he loves me more than anything, etc. He wouldn't let me get a word in for a while, until I eventually said to him if he wasn't going to listen to me, I would leave right now. That got his attention. I said something along the lines of this. I can't remember the exact wording, but this is pretty much it. Quote, "Harry, I'm sorry that things have turned out this way, I really am. Up until the other night, I wanted nothing more than to marry and spend my life with you. But after what you did to Fluff, I don't think that can happen. You've hurt a poor defenseless animal that trusted and loved you. Worse still, you showed no remorse for your actions and still haven't apologized for hurting Fluff or even asked how Fluff was holding up. You disrespected and berated me for simply wanting to be treated like an equal partner in this relationship and not a maid, and then you attacked our dog. I don't think I could ever get over the things you said to me or the things you've done to Fluff, and I think we should call it a day." Harry kept apologizing and started crying. I told him I was leaving and left my engagement ring on the table. I stood up from my chair, and again it was like a switch had flipped. He told me he was going to kill himself if I left him, told me to sit down and work this out or I've killed him. When that didn't work, he threw his glass on the floor and began screaming at me in the middle of the restaurant. I don't know what he said. I was too shocked to even register. I started walking and running away from him. He got up and started to follow me until he was stopped by a waiter asking him to leave me alone or he's been instructed to call the police. My ex-fiancé just looked between me and at the waiter for about 10 seconds before storming off out of the restaurant. I broke down crying, and the staff were very supportive and kind to me. They even walked me out to my car to make sure I got there safely. I got to my car and called my brother Tom, 22. I gave him a brief version of everything that happened and asked if he could stay the night at my place, as Harry still has a key. He met up with me at the restaurant and drove me home and slept on my couch. He's offered to stay until this mess has been sorted, and has just been such a champ through this. Harry's been calling and texting non-stop. It's been a mess of fluctuating between apologizing and crazy, so I've decided to block his number until I have all his stuff packed for him to pick up. Fluff has been acting strangely towards Tom ever since she was attacked, so I'm considering bringing her to a pet behaviorist. Does anyone have any good experience with them, or am I just better off taking her to the vet again? Thank you to everyone who offered advice. It's really helped me through this. And some final comments on the dog's behavior. Animal behaviorist here. Can you describe how Fluff has been acting? If this doesn't get a respond, I will PM. Note, a vet works with medicines, so they generally can't discern specific behaviors, nor are they equipped to train in abundance. OP replies, Fluff always has been a pretty lazy dog, but since my brother's been here, she's been very fidgety, frenetic, playing with toys, sniffing and scratching. If my brother's in the room, she'll either move far away from him or out of the room entirely. The strangest thing by far, though, is my brother went to stroke her a couple hours ago and she started whining before moving away from him. The commenter replies back, She's establishing her territory. It wasn't compromised before, and now it is because she's associating males with danger. The problem is, she isn't quite sure how to do it so safely. Having your brother there is great for you, but she's still in shock and traumatized. Edit for clarity. Your dog doesn't come off like a dominant dog based on your posts, like cowering at your brother's hand, for example, so it's natural for her to not understand how to establish territory. The main point is, she is scared and is shuffled into a role she cannot and was not meant to carry out. Also, contrary to popular belief, going overhand at a dog is threatening to it, even if your brother was going to stroke her. If you wish to interact with her and show her your home is a safe environment, sit on the floor with her. Automatically, this will make her feel safer because she doesn't have someone towering above her. If you want to touch her, offer your hand. If she accepts, stroke under her chin and lead that up to rubbing her face and the top of her head, slowly. She needs to see where your limbs are going, and she will trust slow, deliberate movements more than impulsive ones. It's very important right now that she sees where your hands are going. Dogs may have 20-40 degree vision, but she can't associate the difference between a pat and a forceful hit if it's coming from behind. Do not approach her from behind if possible. Make sure she can see you. If you must approach her from behind, call out her name gently so she's aware of your presence. I would like to note that in your original post, your dog bit your ex out of retaliation, assuming that he kicked her. I do not believe a single kick to the dog would make it act out so aggressively as to cause a wound that would make someone bleed profusely, especially if she has no history of aggressive behavior. What I mean is, your ex did something incredibly malicious to her with intent, to the point where she needed to attack for her life. I've tripped over many dogs in my day, which spooks them a bit, but it doesn't lead to violence. If I had to guess, he probably tried choking and manhandling her. Please, if you have any more questions or need clarification, I'll be happy to help. The most monstrous behavior is always prefaced with, "Let me be clear, the relationship was perfect and they're the sweetest spouse ever." I'm glad he showed his colors before she married him. It sucks an innocent animal got hurt in the process though. Yeah, and I'm kinda with that comment before. I have a feeling what he did was really bad, or he's been doing it for a long time. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Otherwise, that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.